Hello, everyone who is joining us today live and who's also watching this via recording on our YouTube or on our Next Century Cities page. Thank you all for joining us. So excited to have you for Broadband Bites for Lunch. This is our official March segment. We were taking a couple of months off. We are back in action. Actually want to share a little bit more about the future of Broadband Bites for Lunch. So we've had a great series. We have covered a lot of topics and we have heard from a lot of great guests. But moving forward, we're going to be focusing our engagement with our members directly and moving towards their individual needs. So these monthly meetings are going to go towards our memberships and towards our existing members and our new members and seeing how we can support them individually and for the specific unique resources that they may need for their communities. But I wanted to give an overview of all of the different series that we've had through all the different segments we've had throughout this series. Wanted to acknowledge and thank to all of our guests who were a part of Broadband Bites for Lunch. We had Alana Lowry from Common Sense Media Arizona, Christine Nieves from Esperanza, H. Trussell from the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis. And we covered lots of different topics from ACP enrollment to acknowledging Indigenous Peoples Day to highlighting some of the reports that we're doing here at NCC. And so it's just been a great segment. I want to say thank you to all of our viewers, all of our guests for your support. We really appreciate it. And hopefully you found the series very informative and engaging, and will continue to join us on our monthly meetings. This month, however, we are going to close out our Broadband Bites for Lunch with acknowledging our new membership and our new launch of this membership, we're very excited about. We are hoping to expand our members across the United States and our territories with 3 different layers that we have. And throughout the layers, there will be a free membership, as we're always able to offer. And then there will also be a chance to be a part of our paid membership tiers that we'll kind of get into a little bit later with our municipalities and organizations that kind of bring more tailored resources and supports and highlights in some of our news bulletins that we're doing, our social media pages. And so we'll kind of get into that a little bit. But I also want to acknowledge that we're going to talk a little bit about federal, state, and local headlines, as we usually do in Broadband Bites for Lunch. And then we are going to end our segment today highlighting our 10th anniversary bipartisan tech event that we have coming up in just 3 short weeks on April 17th in Washington, D.C., that we're very excited about, and we hope that you all can join us. So without further ado, we're going to kind of jump into our membership relaunch. NCC has been an organization that's been around for, like I said, this are coming on our 10-year anniversary. We have always offered free memberships for our municipalities and our local governments. We're going to take that to the next level in this membership relaunch, where we are offering still our free membership that gets you everything you've already gotten from us, all of the great resources, all of the support and maybe writing letters to your congressional members, being a part of FCC filings. All of those things are going to continue, but there will be a paid option for our municipalities and our organizations. So we really have it laid out in this 3 categories of membership. So our municipalities, that's our local governments and our local municipalities. Then we also have an organizations membership, which is designed for agencies and nonprofit organizations that are doing this work on broadband access and deployment and digital equity. And then our 3rd tier is our academia membership, which is something a little bit new for us, but we're designing it for students and for academic-based groups that are really working towards policy changes and broadband access. And we think it'd be a great way to connect with future workers in this field and future thinkers and researchers that are doing this work, maybe in an academic setting, and for students who are up and coming in this field. So really excited about these 3 different tiers. We hope that we will continue to support how we have been supporting, but we are excited to offer a new level of that support and an individualized level of resources to offer to municipalities and organizations. So I'll touch a little bit on each of those as we go along here today. So the first one we're going to talk about is our municipalities, which is kind of our bread and butter at NCC. We have over 240 municipalities that we're working with and local governments throughout the nation. Those members' benefits will continue on our free membership tier. So again, we're going to be having monthly member calls just like this one today, but instead of it being about topic based, we're going to be really more talking about meeting with members, a couple of members at a time, really hitting those individual needs needs and the unique needs, maybe do some coalition building in that. But we will continue with our monthly member calls. We know it's an important way to get out some of the updates that we're doing, some of the updates in the federal sphere and the state sphere. So that will always be a part of NCC, and you will always be be able to attend those monthly member calls, and as you are doing today, and hope that you continue to do in months ahead. You will always have access to our broadband toolkits, which we will be revamping a little bit here in the future, but it's still a great resource for all municipalities who are looking to, from A to Z, where to get started and bringing broadband access to your community. So whether you really are farther along in that realm and you have a state broadband office, what are some of the things that you can be doing? How can you talk to your members or your congressional members? Or if you're just starting out and thinking, how do we bring broadband to our area? We have that soup to nuts toolkit for you available, which will always be available on our website. And I have it linked later on in our slides here, which I'll be sending out to all of you. As always, you will be getting an invitation to our annual conference, and we hope that you will attend. Like I said a little bit ago, our 10-year anniversary and annual conference are combined this year, and it'll be taking place on April 16th and 17th, which is just in 3 short weeks. So if you have not registered for that, there'll be links for you to do that on this slide deck that I'll be sending. And I'll also, if you check out our social media pages on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, on X, or formerly known as Twitter, there will constantly be social media tiles for you all to join in and register through that. So we're making it very easy for you to register. Registration is now free. So we hope that all of our members, all of our up and coming members, all of the members who have who have connections that may not know about NCC and the work that we're doing, we really invite you to come out to Washington, D.C. in 3 weeks on April 17th for our Bipartisan Tech Conference. We have a lot of great speakers lined up, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on today.
Stacy, if I can
Yes,
jump in
please
real
go
quick,
ahead.
I just want to mention to folks as well is that we didn't do this in a vacuum as well. We've talked to some of our members about what they could afford as far as payment for membership, and to say it's not just that these things on the screen that it's going to help us afford. This actually will create annual revenue for NCC and allow us to expand more of our services, expand staff, so we can actually do more in the future for your communities and really just kind of find ways to work with you more. And so we're hoping to see that this is that we can grow our membership and that we can offer more services and be able to staff up more in the future as well.
Absolutely. And to that point, it also goes into helping communities that may be smaller in population be able to attend some of these conferences that we go to, our Bipartisan Tech Conference and other conferences across the nation and throughout the year. We really want to give back into those smaller communities that may need some more support. And so your paid membership will go towards that as well. But these are some of the member benefits that you're already getting. Coalition building we see as a very important step as we move forward in broadband access, really connecting communities that are similarly built, similarly minded, trying to go towards the same goals without reinventing the wheel, and how do we work together on that. Advocacy resources, as I said, looking at our broadband toolkit and some of the letters of support we've done, insights on federal legislation. Ryan Johnson, who is our senior policy counsel for federal needs, he is always keeping on track with things that are going on the Hill, what the FCC is doing. And so that will always be a part of your membership for baseline free membership. And then updates on state policies, community resources, and again, always engaging with our members on social media. We love to highlight what you're doing, to repost what you're doing. So please always know that will always be a part of that free membership base. And then as we move over, as Andy was saying, we did have some members reaching out to us saying that they would maybe want more. And so we're offering this new tiered of a paid membership, which will be based on population size. So it is not a flat rate for everybody at the same level. We do understand that different size communities and local governments will have different abilities to pay, and we're always willing to work with you on that. That is not going to change with NCC as we offer some paid membership. So just know that if that's something that is a concern for you, we're happy to kind of work with you on that. But this paid membership takes it to the next level as some of our free membership bases. So instead of just joining our member calls, which we would love for you to do. We are looking at creating some focus groups around some key ideas and topics that we see consistently being brought up in different communities. One being infrastructure, another being digital equity, and another being advocacy. So those are kind of our 3 focus groups as we move forward. And we're open to suggestions. If there are groups that are, I know we have someone, Taylor from Baltimore is here, and we're so thankful for you being here today, Taylor. And we know that Baltimore has specific needs as a historic city and kind of where it's located and all those kind of specific details. We maybe be looking at different focus groups that kind of can bring those communities together that are like-minded or geographically or demographically similar. So we're excited to be offering those focus groups that dives a little bit deeper into coalition building along with communities that may feel similarly based. We're also offering not only an invitation to our annual events, but a 25% discount on our NCC events. So normally we do have a lot of free events that we offer for you, but for the ones that we are kind of offering a paid registration, you will get a 25% discount on all of those events, which we see as a great highlight for this paid membership. We also intend to highlight you in our NCC news bulletin. So it's ways that you can get your research, your new things that are coming down the path, maybe new EDs that you have in your organizations or new local governments positions that you may have, new things that are going on, state broadband offices. We would love to highlight all of the work that we know you all are doing on a consistent basis, and that work deserves to be highlighted and spotlighted. And so that will definitely be a part of your paid membership from the NCC News Bulletin, as well as our end of the year acknowledgments. So I'll kind of we have a link later to our year in review of 2023. And as we move forward in these paid membership benefits, you'll see that your community will be able to be a part of those end of the year highlights and acknowledgments and the year in review, what we do. And again, we always want to spotlight what you're doing on social media, but this kind of takes that to the next level in our paid membership, where we'll have specific days of the week and days of the month where we're highlighting you as a community, you as a member, and the work that you're doing individually, as well as in connection with our members here, or our workers here. So this kind of gives you an idea of for the municipality side or local governments, what this membership will look like. Again, it is going to be tiered based on population size and based on availability. We understand that, state budgets are tight, local budgets are tight, and we want to work with you on that. But we do see it as an added benefit to give more direct and unique types of benefits to members who may be looking for some extra support along with our just free membership base. I will have some time at the end for any questions, but feel free to jump in the chat if you have any questions that you would like to share. And we appreciate everyone who, has questions for us, and we hope to be able to answer them here or definitely get back to you on things that we might have even thought about. So our next kind of grouping as we move from municipalities is we really want to engage organizations in the work that we're doing. Right now, our membership is solely based on municipalities and local governments, but we understand that there are a lot of organizations that are doing this work along with NCC. We see them at all the conferences we go to, and we really want to find a way to connect with the work that we're all doing together. We know that two heads are better than one and 5 are better than 2. And so how can we really move the needle along? It's how we work together. And so again, those membership benefits for organizations is going to kind of be the same as our municipality benefits, advocacy resources, coalition building, as we see a really important thing coming up, community resources, engagement on social media, really kind of helping each other raise the voices of what we're doing and raise the research of what we're doing. But we're also offering that paid membership benefit for organizations as well. We know that at NCC, we are small but mighty, and we know that it's important to connect with other organizations who maybe are similarly sized or maybe even larger or smaller than us, so we can work together, because we know that that's what moves the needle in policy more than just our members here. So again, kind of those same different tiers of paid membership. It again will be based on the size of the organization, the ability of their budget. We are going to take all those things in consideration, because we know that at the end of the day, we want to increase our engagement with each other so that we can move these important topics forward and really get some work done in terms of we see the ACP is unfortunately coming to a close, and how could we have make different choices or make different voices louder if organizations were working together. So we know that that's really important, and that's something that NCC is committed to doing. And part of that is this paid membership model. We're kind of going the extra mile and offering benefits to organizations and opening it up to organizations, which we had not done previously.
Yeah, Stacy, and I'll mention as well as there's some other public interest orgs that have memberships that we are part of as well, that we're willing to do a reciprocal agreement as well to kind of limit the amount of transactions that are going on between organizations. If it's easier just to do a reciprocal agreement, that's something we're open to as well.
Yeah, we are definitely flexible in understanding the needs of our members, whether that's at municipality level or organizational level. We know that there are different abilities for different areas and for different organizations, and so we're always willing to be flexible at that, because we really want to build these coalitions and move our policy needle forward. So the third tier that we're offering is that, like I said, is the academia membership, which is a free membership. So we understand that students are usually not in financial positions. I know when I was in grad school or undergrad, I was not in a position to be able to pay for memberships. And so we understand that that's still a necessary way to bring people in, to bring future thinkers in, future researchers in, without having to give the burden of paying for a membership. So member benefits are going to be kind of similar to the ones we talked about before. We want to embrace them in the members calls, bring them into the loop, in the fold, so that these new thinkers can kind of have their voices heard and elevated in ways that they might not be able to do at their school themselves. Access to broadband toolkits. We understand that students from all over the world and all over the country are going to be working on this, and that they're going to need access to those resources and those tools to bring to their local governments, to bring to even their schools, and say, hey, this is something that we need to be focused on for the students at this school. So we really want to find a way to bridge that gap between the students who are, doing that work in policy, or who are being affected directly by the work that we're doing, and bring them into the fold, because we know that lived experience is the best way to move policy solutions forward, and for new ideas to come to the forefront and to lift those voices. Again, coalition building throughout different academia organizations, advocacy resources, so that I know that when I was at Catholic University of America, there was a student advocacy day, and it would have been great to have some advocacy resources when we're talking to people on the Hill about some of these important policies that we want to move forward. And so that's definitely something that we're offering through this membership. Insights on federal legislation, updates on state policies. I know there's a lot that students and universities are doing, and in a way that we can provide any type of support as a member, we would love to. And then again, giving you community resources and engagement on social media. We know that that's the way that people get heard. Social media, LinkedIn has become its own social media, if you really think about the way that people are connecting on there. And we particularly love LinkedIn because it's that professional social media kind of crossover where we can see what everyone's working on individually. We can lift voices, we can lift topics up to the forefront. And it's a great way for us to engage with our members, organizations, and for up and coming students in this field. So it's a little bit of our outline of our 3 membership kind of sectors here in our membership relaunch. Again, if you have questions, we would love for you to reach out in the chat here, or you can reach out to any of the members on the team. My email is stacy@nextcenturycities.org, and the same is true. It just replaced the name for Andy, Ryan, Brittany, Ray, and Corey. And we're always really willing to answer any questions that you might have. Or we know this is a new launch that we're giving, but want to remember that the free membership is always going to have those basic levels of support that we've always been offering and will continue to offer.
I'll just say that we'll be planning to reach out to members individually and or as groups, and trying to talk about the membership options. And again, thank you to my team. The team has just been great, Stacy, and everyone, just trying to build out this membership model. And we would love to hear feedback from folks to see what you think about this. Yeah. Thanks.
Absolutely. And to get some, if you're looking at what the prices might look like for that, we're happy to outline that in our emails going out to members about how that relates to population size and really what your membership is paying for, not only for the work that we do at NCC, but giving back into the community and the smaller municipalities and organizations that may need some support in attending conferences and getting letters of support out there, or just expanding our work that we're doing here at NCC. So I'm going to transition a little bit into some federal and state updates for you. Unfortunately, just a couple of days ago, Congress passed the spending package, and it did not include any additional funding for the ACP. We understand that April is the last full month that the ACP will be able to give stipends or subsidies to the people that have registered and enrolled in the program. They stopped taking enrollment back in February. So there was kind of, we knew that the end was coming, unfortunately, but it is kind of unfortunate news to know that the spending package was passed without any additional funds. But members of Congress are not giving up that easy. I know the Biden and Harris administration are really focused on trying to continue to get some support and funding for that. Congresswoman Clark and 150 other colleagues wrote a letter of support for continued funding for the ACP. 34 senators led by Jackie Rosen wrote a separate letter of support for the Senate. So it's not that the support for it has gone. It's just that unfortunately the funding is coming to an end rather quickly. So it's important for us to stay updated on the ACP, on what members of Congress are doing to push that forward. And as always, Ryan Johnson is our key person on federal programs and what's going on there. So keep a lookout for all the great things that he's putting out that has to relate to the ACP. Also, just wanted to acknowledge that the FCC did officially update that their benchmark speeds are now at 100 megabits per second download and 20 megabits per second upload. That is an accomplishment. I know there's still more work to be done there. People would like to see it at 100, and maybe even further as we go forward and we look at the needs of broadband and for students, for telehealth, for education, for any of these sectors that we know that broadband kind of touches everything. But it is an acknowledgement, and we do want to acknowledge the FCC when they are able to increase benchmark speeds and really say that as a standard across the board. So we want to acknowledge the FCC in that and kind of give them their props as they're due. So again, look out for Ryan Johnson on all the federal programming that we have going on. As we move over to the state, Corey Ann Zacher is our Senior Policy Counsel for State Initiatives. So always keep a lookout for what they're doing, always releasing some great stuff. At the bottom here, there will be, like I said, this is going to be our slide deck will be sending out. We have a link to our state broadband policy map, which has really gotten a lot of great feedback on 56 states and territories across the United States, really outlining what their policies are, outlining the connection between broadband access and device access and poverty and some of the resources and really what the local news is talking about and the headlines that are going on within each state. We're going to be continuing to update that, kind of expanding that work a little bit. So keep an eye out for that, but also please utilize our state broadband policy map, as has some great resources for all the states and territories in the U.S. Want to give a couple of quick highlights. So Connecticut released a $41 million releases $41 million for competitive broadband grants for new construction and deployment of broadband infrastructure. So that's a great win for Connecticut. Arkansas State Broadband Office is opening their own BEAD mapping challenge process. I believe it started March 20th and will go until sometime in June. And they're going to be really encouraging people that live in Arkansas, and Arkansonians, I'm not sure, to be able to challenge those mapping that is from the BEAD mapping that we know is not as accurate as we would like it to be, and that funding really comes down to who's on the map. So it's great that they have opened their own mapping challenge process. Wanting to acknowledge that Maryland has launched their new updated broadband hub. So there's a couple of key things on that hub, but mostly talking about mapping challenges and resources for the state and advocacy of resources. So it's a great thing that Maryland has done to try to keep all Marylanders on the same page about what's going on when it comes to broadband access and the money that they know has been brought down from BEAD. And then finally, Massachusetts is expanding their municipal broadband network program with the Municipal Digital Equity Planning Program. As always, like I said, I'll be sending these slides out that has links to all of these little points that we're making here of just some of the great work that states are doing individually, which I think kind of ties us back to our membership program of like, how can we put these heads together so that other states that don't, or that are not on these updates, or that haven't been able to move the needle as much, how can they take some of the things that are successful in these different states and use them in their own communities? And that's where we see NCC as being a great connector, a great coalition builder, and a way to kind of bring those heads together to really share the love and what's working and maybe even what's not when it comes to state broadband planning. So I want to highlight a couple upcoming events for us. I'm definitely going to talk about bipartisan tech, but this Thursday, we have a Building Broadband for All Together webinar that is going to be, we have Oakland Undivided as one of our guests, as well as American Connectivity Corp. So that's going to be Thursday, March 28th at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And again, the slides will have links to the registration for all of these, and we really hope you can join us. It's going to be a great conversation. Our last hub webinar had over 100 attendees that were there, and it was a great place to talk, get connections, get ideas, really be able to share what's going on, what Oakland Undivided and American Connectivity Corp have going on. We're excited to hear from both of them. So please join us on Thursday. And then our main event that we're really excited about and have been planning and can't believe is only about 22 days or 3 weeks away is our Bipartisan Tech 2024, Writing Broadband's Next Chapter Together, which is actually a 2-day event. Our main conference is going to be on the 17th. And we want to offer a chance for people to become a sponsor for our Bipartisan Tech 2024. So there are 3 levels that we're sponsoring: a blue level sponsorship, green level sponsorship, and yellow level sponsorship. That gets you different accolades as you are a sponsor at that level. We also have the ability, if you can't meet any of those fiscal responsibilities of those sponsorship levels, custom sponsorships are available. Again, travel expenses for local officials, for our speakers that are being on some great panels that we have for you, and some accessibility services. We will have an ASL interpreter on site there, and a way that we can stream for people who are not able to attend in person. So all of the sponsorship kind of goes back to creating this great event, bringing communities into the fold and the work that we're doing. So just want to, before we kind of dive in a little bit into bipartisan tech in the last couple of minutes here, these are just continuously our priorities for 2024. As we talked about member engagement here and how can we increase the connectivity about all the work that you all are doing across the country. Device access is really important to us. We know that the internet kind of means nothing if you don't have a device to use it on. And so that's something that we're going to be focusing on. And then again, workforce development and investing locally. And all of that is going to be done during storytelling, which is going to be a highlight of our Bipartisan Tech 2024 event. As a whole, you can support the work that we're doing at NCC. Like I said, we have our 2023 year in review that talks about all the work that we've done this year, our Broadband Ready Toolkit, our state broadband policy map, and some of the, just highlighting some of the reports that we have, a recent report, Brick by Brick, done by our communications director, Brittany Ray Gregory, which talks about the Connecting Minorities Communities pilot program and HBCUs and how they're using that. And then I had set out a report back in November about the high cost of connectivity in public schools and how it's affecting low-income students. So we're constantly, writing reports. We are giving you resources. We are trying to give as many things as we can to create broadband access throughout the country. And we know that it takes a lot of work to do that, and a lot of people and a lot of minds together. And so we're always asking for your support in that, and to donate for the work that we're doing and support the work that we're doing. So please take a look at our donation page and see if that might be an option for you. So we'll end here with our bipartisan tech. Again, I talked about how it's a 2-day event. So Tuesday, we have an academic pre-conference where we're going to be showcasing some of the research that students are doing, kind of bringing in our academia level, our membership. We'll be having a Hill Day on Capitol Hill, where you'll be able to meet with some of your members of Congress, share what's happening in your community. And then really our big day is April 17th, which is we're going to have some panel discussions. Broadband for All means everybody, a great keynote panel talking about cities big and small, focusing on hope, collaboration, and lessons, a great fireside chat with members of the SCC, some storytelling workshops on how can we push the needle forward through storytelling and lived experience, some roundtable discussions. And as always, we're going to end it with a great happy hour that we hope that you can join us for. So, we really hope that you come out for that. As again, registration is free, and you can find links to that on all our social medias, our website, and then through these slides that I'm going to send out after. So thank you all. I know that we've kind of crunched that into a half an hour as much as we could, but if you have any questions, please drop that in the chat. Please send us an email. Yes, it's not over till it's over, Ryan. We appreciate that. And please reach out to Ryan Johnson if you would like to join Hill Day so that he can arrange some of those meetings with your specific congressional members so that you can have those important conversations that really relate to your community. So thank you all so much for coming to Broadband Bites for Lunch. We are excited about this next chapter and engaging with our members. We hope to see you at Bipartisan Tech 2024 on April 17th. And as always, we are here if you have questions, concerns, or anything that you'd like to discuss with us. Take care.